Ha Ha Clinton Dix, the newest Niner, he could be starting for them. He's been a starter in the past. Sybilla is a former defensive back and a DB expert. So I'd love to know what you see and what you can tell Niner fans to expect.
So Ha Ha is definitely, I love his physicality. He's got a little bit, he's not huge, but he has a little bit of size. He's a plug and play player. This is a safe signing. It's called, they were hoping Tart would work out. But as you pointed out earlier, when we were talking about this, you can't bank on our secondary being healthy. But the 49ers did. They got to this point, and they went out and looked at the market, and I think they got the safest signing as far as plug and play. He's a plug and play player. Mm-hmm. He may not necessarily have the most experience on our scheme, but essentially he doesn't overrun his targets. He doesn't always take the best routes to them. He's very familiar with zone coverage. I don't know if you've seen a lot of highlights of him. Most of his picks are coming from tipped passes, or simply they were thrown right at him because he was playing like a two-man zone or something like that, where he's playing over the
split safety zone. Yep,
exactly.
I think the Niners are doing a lot of that this year. Split safety. Yeah,
exactly. And it's a safe option playing that kind of zone coverage, because basically it's you do your job and the guy in front of you does his job, and somewhere in between they're going to have to make a really good catch to get it between the two of you. So Clinton Dix is very capable of keeping his eyes on the ball. He has great vision. Watching him with the Packers and the Bears in particular, he has really good vision from his spot. I think he's an above average kind of player. He's not phenomenal. He's not lights out. I don't think we're going to get Pro Bowl play from him, but we're not going to get a lot of boneheaded head-scratching mistakes from him. And I think for the 49ers, they could be in a worse position than to have to back up Tarts with Ha Ha Clinton Dix.
I think it's important to clarify how the Niners use their safeties.
Because of the zone.
Yeah, on first and second down, essentially they're playing half of the field. So you don't have to be super fast and you don't have to play man-to-man coverage. You got half the field. Then when it's third down, the Niners bring Jimmy Ward down for man-to-man coverage, and they'll play a single high safety, usually with a blitz look, a bunch of guys kind of hanging around the line of scrimmage so you don't know who's coming. They're a different team on third down. They like to bring pressure. They like to play single high. That is what the strong safety is doing on third. Tart did it, and that's what Ha Ha Clinton Dix would be doing. He would be playing in the middle of the field while Jimmy Ward is covering the tight end man-to-man. So Clinton Dix won't be in that role. Talanoa Hufanga won't be in that role. You have to play some single high, though. Do you think that he can do that?
It's important what you said about the third down packages that the 49ers feature, because with the extra pressure, it gives your safety back there a lot of time as far as mentally to be able to read the pass, read the quarterback size, because he will not, hopefully, if things go right, he will not have as many reads. And Clinton Dix is pretty good at reading the eyes. You can see it. His vision is very tunneled. He's right on the quarterback. You can see it. He's got the good classic stance. He's watching the quarterback's eyes because he's used to zone coverage. He's not necessarily looking to play man, and so he can ball hawk a little bit. And with the extra pressure on the quarterback, yes, I think this is exactly the kind of role that Clinton Dix needs. I think he needs the upfront pressure because he's not necessarily the best man-to-man kind of coverage safety. He doesn't have Ward's athleticism. He's very, very comfortable in zone. So if he's getting more time to think things through, I think this is the right look for him.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Oh, so real quick, what the Niners like to do on third down is they like to bring pressure. They like to bring a fifth rusher and play press man coverage and force the quarterback to make a low percentage throw down the field with pressure in his face, which means that there's opportunities for that deep middle safety to make interceptions. And we haven't really seen anyone on this team take advantage of those particular opportunities because that's how the defense is structured. Be interesting to see if Clinton Dix could do that.
It's interesting you say that because, again, in college, at the pro level, a lot, if not all of his interceptions. Now, he jumps a couple routes with just I think every decent defensive back has a couple of route jumps in their life, but this guy's mostly tip passes, going over the head of the receiver, or just being in the right place at the right time because he plays zone pretty well. I would have to say he might be better at Tart of sticking to his job and maybe reading the ball a little bit better. And in addition to that, he's very comfortable blitzing. He plays on the line decently well. He's comfortable with that. He's done it before. I've seen him pick up backs in the flat. I've seen him be able to read screens, sniff them out. He has a lot of the basic skills, I think, that the 49ers prototype, the archetype of defensive backs, secondary players for the 49ers. He fits that mold. Maybe not perfectly, but he fits the mold.
I always liked him. I know he hasn't had a great career, but he's had some good years. He's only 28 years old. This is a good team with a good front seven that makes the secondary look better. And I felt that when Tavarius Moore went down in, what was that, May? That was May, I think. I thought this was
He sat there for a while.
I thought this was the guy they should have signed. And I mean, they didn't miss out on him, but they missed out on the opportunity to give him a full training camp with the defense. Instead, they signed Tony Jefferson, who hasn't played since like 2017. He hadn't proven that he could come back from a torn ACL, and he got hurt again. So, not to be negative here, but I think that was a bad decision. At least they got him here now, and they do have another. I think the first game is the 12th, so they have a month to get him ready. I just don't know if he's really in position to start yet, but we'll see what Tavon Wilson has.
Tavon is the only person that can press him. Hufanga's not ready yet. Hufanga needs to be in special packages, I think, special teams, things like that. But Clinton Dix, I think because of the kind of zone defense that the 49ers are probably going to run back there, I think he's pretty plug and play. But the thing is, how good is Tavon Wilson? So that's what we're going to wait and see. I think preseason will give us a couple of looks at Wilson, definitely give us some looks at Ha Ha, and hopefully I feel like he brings a lot of experience, but so does Wilson's decent player as well. So it's hard to say which one is better, but I think Clinton Dix has a little bit more upside. But like you said, he hasn't strung together a whole lot of good seasons, but he's managed to get some turnovers in his career that Tart has not.
Right, and just remember, like, the way the Niners use their safeties, not you, just the viewers, the way the Niners use their safeties, the guy playing opposite Jimmy Ward doesn't have to do much man-to-man coverage. That's Ward's job. He'll play split safety zone or single high safety zone. That's basically what Ward's counterpart has to do. If he can't do more, great. If that's it, that's all you got to do. And that's what I think you're saying Clinton Dix can do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. David says, do you feel Sanu will fulfill the loss of Kendrick Bourne? I do. What do you think?
Yes. Kendrick Bourne was great. I wouldn't say he was a streaky player, Kendrick Bourne. He had some decent hands, but I saw him drop some really weird passes in his career as well. I think Sanu brings something Kendrick Bourne does not, and that's a small junior version of Emmanuel Sanders. As far as what he does for the wide receiver room, we don't need any more uncles on this team. But at the same time, I think Sanu's experience and his scheme familiarity, you never know during game time where he might notice things, little wrinkles in the defense that can be exploited, that having him around with his game experience in this system might behoove us to keep him on the active roster as the wide receiver 3. The other one is Sherfield, I guess, seems to be really having a decent camp, but I feel like Shanahan's track record is to go with the familiar face. What do you think?
Well, they're different. Trent Sherfield is a guy that runs almost all of his routes outside the numbers. He's good at running fades.
He's the backup.
Yeah, he can run a nice speed out. He's got good hands. He's not a great route runner. I think he's like a number 4, number 5 wide receiver. Sanu is a guy who could be a slot receiver. I mean, I think his skill set is quite comparable to Kendrick Bourne's. And actually, I think
he's better.
Yeah, I think like Kendrick Bourne's good, but Kendrick Bourne, he'll give you like an illegal formation. He'll give you, I mean, he doesn't drop a ton of passes, but it's like the real crucial ones. Right. It's like he's not always locked in. He'll give you a false start, little things. You're like, dude, now you drop the ball. Now you committed an illegal procedure stuff. Yeah, Sanu is very professional. He's almost 32 years old. But the other side of that coin is he's had injury issues the last couple of years. Kendrick Bourne is always available because he's younger and he's durable. So but Sanu needs to be available every game. They need him.
I think if he is available every game, I think it's a good wide receiver 3. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so the question is, will he fulfill? He might if he's healthy. He might exceed it if he's healthy.
Yeah, that's a good point. Jeremy says, 49ers record this season, if Jimmy starts every game versus Lance starting every game. Oh, man. I was going to say something really negative, but I don't see Jimmy starting every game one way or another. I don't think he physically can do it. That's my issue with Jimmy. Sorry.
You said it on your previous show today. He's not going to start every game. I think is what you said.
Every game. Yeah, he can start the season, but he's not going to start every game.
We can give Jeremy the hypothetical benefit of the doubt here. If Jimmy was able to start every game, I put him at. It's so hard to choose against Lance, but let's go out on a limb here and say Jimmy posts 2 less wins than Lance.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and that's
so. Let's put us at 9-10 games with Jimmy. Let's put us at 11-12 with Lance.
I think that's fair. That's exactly what I would say. Daniel says, based on what you've seen in training camp, has Kyle turned a corner with how to use Dwelly? Will he see considerably more targets this year? It certainly seems that way. They don't ever give Kyle Juszczyk many looks, which is it kills me. But Dwelly all of a sudden went from a guy who would get like maybe 6 catches in a training camp to 20. So yeah, absolutely. I think he's going to be. We know the top 3 guys are Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, but after that, it could be like Sanu and Dwelly getting the same amount of targets.
Yeah, so the first thing, I don't want Dwelly to get targets at the expense of Kyle Juszczyk. I hope that they can work them all in together. There's a lot of mouths to feed now. We a few years ago, we didn't have this. We had a huge problem of which mouths to feed. Now we have so many to feed. It's about how you get all these guys involved. But one of the things that Dwelly really does is I think he preserves the health if he's used properly. His biggest function on this team is to keep Kittle healthy. Because of his physical size, his ability to run routes, his magnificent hands, you don't always need a lights out high risk play to George Kittle where he's going to take some hits and you need his toughness. Dwelly's going to get you the first down, bail you out of trouble, maybe get you that touchdown when you need it in the red zone because of his hands and size. So I think what Dwelly's function right here is to take a little bit of the workload off of Kittle. And if he can do that, then Kittle will be there for every game or most of them.
Good answer. I hadn't thought of that. That's a hell of an answer.